All right, job descriptions regarding to the copy and the writing. Previously, I went over job descriptions that we need to have them. That's a different topic. Now we are talking about the writing, the copy, the drafting of the content that's on there. I'm going to give you guys some basic guidelines that's going to be able to serve the entire U.S., probably the whole world when it comes to job descriptions. Number one, keep away from all the sexist terms. His, her, things like that. You want to stick with gender neutral situations such as them, they, the person, preferred, the candidate, etc. Another thing, so I'm gonna be very clear: no gender stuff, no him, no hers, no she's, no he's, no none of that. Stay away from that. That's all bad stuff. Okay. Another thing that I would stay away from is if the person needs to have a degree or not. Let me explain. Because guys, currently at the time of this video is 2021. I don't want to date the video too tough, but it's currently 2021. Guys, degrees are a thing of the past. And I know there's some 60-year-old dude or female like, no, it's not. Like, you gotta have a college degree. But let me tell you something, Mr., Mrs., whomever you are, you're gonna kick the bucket in a little while. And you know the person who's gonna come up after you, that younger person that really knows programmers, hackers, who probably has like a 12-year-old daughter or son that can code their butt off, and they're like, they don't need a degree. Entrepreneurship in this generation, like millennial Generation Z, is viewed differently than baby boomers looked at entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is much more of a viable option now than it was back in those days for the 60, 70, 80-year-old crew that's still out there kicking it. So the degree is less valuable now than it was back in those generations. So you guys need to be mindful of that moving forward. In fact, Google and a few other big places actually have online certificates that they guarantee or promise a job after completion. I know that here in Atlanta we have the Iron Yard, and they all but guarantee a job as soon as you get out. Actually, they start placing you for positions like your last couple like weeks or whatever in the school once they know that you're pretty much going to graduate. So I say all that to simply say that I would not require, I would not, I would be very, I would lean towards what do we need to get the job done more so than traditionally what do we need. If you don't require a high school diploma to do the job, don't put it down. These are just my insights. You're looking to get the right person that fits the company and can do the task and do the job competently. It's not like they need to walk around with a high school diploma that's plastered on their back or their college degree plastered on their chest saying, yeah, I went to Wharton or yeah, I went to Harvard or something like that. If that's not required, then keep that off. So those are some of the things. Stay away from sexy stuff. Stay away from the other. Stay away from. I would say stay away from things that are not absolutely required. However, if the person needs to have a driver's license in order to be able to do the functions of the job, like say for example, they are a truck driver, or maybe they're a consultant, and there's going to be times where they need to be able to drive, then we would say that. I want to give you guys a basic guideline for just basic template. All right, so you can take notes on this, or you can just listen in on this. All right, first thing, start off with the job title at the top. Underneath that, you want a job summary, roughly around like one full sentence, maybe two. It's kind of like a synopsis of what's going on. Your major duties. After your major duties, you have your minor duties. So say, for example, your major duty is, so you have an art gallery. Major duty is that they need to open up the shop at 9 o'clock and they need to close it. It's a major duty. A minor duty would be maybe dusting the paintings to make sure that the dust does not collect on the paintings. You use a specific feather dust situation and you lightly take off the dust, and you do that like once a week. That would be considered like a minor duty. That can possibly be outsourced. The janitor might be able to do that, something like that. A major duty is opening up the shop, making sure that you oversee all the transactions that are coming in and out of the establishment, things like that. So I just want to give you guys some parameters there. From there, you want to look at the relationships, as in like who that person is reporting to, their reporting authority, and then you have your qualifications. Those are going to be the main things, okay? Underneath the qualifications, normally I like to put down a compensation, and then for internal purposes, I like to figure out who prepared the job description. So I like to say this job description was prepared by, and then first and last name. That's for internal stuff, so that I can figure out again, I am I delegating the hiring process to the people that are over that particular position. So if I have if again, that art gallery scenario, if I'm the owner and that person is my general manager, I want to know if the general manager wrote this or if the manager at that store, because it might be a regional situation. I might have 5 art galleries. I might have 5 managers. Who wrote that job description? I want to see it. Okay, so that's some of the basic stuff that I do. Remember, keep all your titles and all the language non-sexist. All right, and another thing is make sure that the job that is being drafted is not about the current person who is in it, but about the job itself. So don't write it in the light or the perspective of, okay, John does this, or this person does this person does that, this person does that. No, you want to say, you want to rephrase that, and you want to go over this is what we need. We need someone to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way down. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Be careful. Oh, another thing. Again, just to cover this one more time. As far as like the high school diploma and stuff like that, make sure that you guys are not putting in artificial requirements in the actual job description itself. Make sure that it does. Take very care to make sure that there's no discriminatory requirements such as age, sex, physical characteristics, education, things like that, and nothing that wants to be anywhere close to discrimination at all. And I know that sometimes I know that I'm reading a document right now saying that the compensation should not be listed on job descriptions since it changes frequently. But I'm going to tell you something. Bump that. Like this was these notes were transcribed from older thinking. If you say you got competitive salary, you need to list it. If you legitimately leave the people who can't afford to put their compensation up, leave them to run the vague stuff. If you've got a position, the market's holding 60 and you're paying 70, you need to say that. You need to advertise that. It for several reasons. One, it raises eyebrows. It makes your competition step up. All right, because you can easily recruit if they're over there at 50, 48, 47, and you're offering 70. The competition folks are looking like, yo, I might need to jump over there. And to give the small business operators some insight, these larger companies like Twitter, Salesforce, TikTok, they all poach from each other. That's what they want. They don't even really want to get people off the streets into their situation. That's not reality. Reality is, and it is funny because if I have any HR people that are in the bigger companies, they're probably listening. They're probably shaking their head like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. I know for a fact they want, like, the people that run TikTok right now would love to acquire anyone from Salesforce, anyone from Facebook, anyone from Google. They want that talent over there. That's what they want. So if you guys have a competitive compensation package, you really need to be putting that out there. Same thing with some of the benefits and things like that. Like if there's actual benefits there, like massive discounts when they travel. If I know PwC now is actually paying people an additional $250 to take vacations. Like if you guys have that, you need to put it out there. Tim Ryan put out a post on LinkedIn, like literally like today or yesterday, saying that they're actually paying people to take actual vacations now because burnout in consultants is so high that people are with P-Dubs, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Let me just go to another place. Let me go to KPMG or Deloitte, or let me go somewhere else where I can get a little bit more freedom. So I say all that just to say to you, if you have a strong compensation package for real, you need to put it out there. Do not hold it back. If you have perks, benefits, you need to advertise your strengths. You need to really put that out there because be mindful that not only the people that are unaware of your space, they're unaware of this job, that's just seeing and reading it for the first time. You have those folks, but you also have your competition that's also that's out there, and then you have the staff of the competition that's looking at you as a viable option because they have a company culture they might not fit in. They might feel like it's going to be a better fit with you. With that being said, that's some of the copy. I would also like to put in here, this is a pro hack for all the folks that listen to me rant for this. How long have I been talking? For 10 minutes. If you've gotten this far, let me tell you something that I do with our job descriptions. I like to break it down in layman's terms. I like to talk to the folks at the level that I think that they're going to be at when it comes to the job description. So, for example, if I'm creating a job description for a construction worker, I'm not going to say something along the lines of, a logistical engineer that's going to relocate assets based within a quarter of a mile distance for install purposes or something like that. I'm not going to speak like that. I'm going to say, I need you to move wood. I need you to prep concrete. I need you to pick up tools from the local store. I'm going to speak to them in their language. If I'm talking to, and this is all the way from the bottom all the way up, I'm going to speak to them in their language. If we're talking about, graphic designers, I'm not going to say I'm looking for a guy who's efficient in Adobe Photoshop, who has, their own fonts and stuff. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, depending upon the client, but we need someone who can make outstanding creative content for music artists for our record label. That includes album covers, mixtapes, ticket designs, merchandise, and etc. I'm going to speak to them in their language. I'm not going to go over like you got to have Adobe, or if like I remember this one time in particular, because I've been in the creative space for a very long time, over 10 years. I would talk to folks and they would say, "Oh, we need someone who does Final Cut." All right, well, I don't use Final Cut. I use Adobe. Oh, well, if you don't use Final Cut, we can't use you. It doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, I use the software that allows me to to facilitate the task. Like, it's not about, it's about the end result. It's not about the actual items that they use. Now, there's going to be some HR folks that say, well, we have a Final Cut situation and that's all it is. Well, guess what, guys? This is why you're hiring people that quit, and this is why your talent sucks. This is why your product sucks. This is why you can't keep anybody, because you guys don't understand that it really doesn't matter if a person uses Final Cut or Premiere. It doesn't matter as long as the deliverable, the end product, is amazing. That's really at the end of the day what it's all about. So I like to be able to speak to people in their language. I don't like to get caught up in the minutia of like a particular system, because those system changes. I remember there was a time someone came to me with a campaign management opportunity, and they said, okay, how efficient are you in MailChimp? Constant Contact. And at the time I was using MailChimp. This is when they were actually decent. And I was like, no, I use MailChimp, but I can definitely hit whatever you need to, do. I can definitely get that done. And they're like, oh, no. We are only using Constant Contact. I'm sorry if we don't have time to like let you learn that up. And I'm like, well, okay, great. You got now that particular position. I know the person that they hired after that, and he only lasted for maybe about 2.5, 3 weeks. He was out of there within a month. My point is that when they ended up coming back to me, and I turned it down because I didn't want to be involved with a company culture like that. But the point that I'm trying to get at is that you don't want to get lost. You want to be able to tell the forest from the trees. You don't want to get too close to where you're not able to see the whole bigger picture, where you focus on the micro. Like you have to have this tool, this tool, this tool, and if you don't have that, then we can't operate with you. What that shows is that you, as a hiring person, manager, whoever you are, it means that you don't know jack squat and you don't really understand the position. So for my folks out there who's creating your job description, who's writing it up, I gave you guys a format. I would encourage you guys to speak to the people on the level of which they are. And if you don't know, then take time to go identify folks. Don't just go steal another ad. Don't just go steal another copy or the job description. Don't do that. Go talk to folks. Talk to me. Hit me up. And talk to these people in their language, because remember, a piece of this is a major component is this company culture. And after this, I'm going to shut up. P-Dubs has a very PC company culture. You know what I'm saying? I got a word for them, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't know who's watching this video, right? But they have a very PC, everything's friendly. Oh, it's kind. It's it's very G rated at PwC, right? Now you go over to somewhere where the grown men are at, like Boston Consulting Group or something like that. You go where some alpha men are at. They're going to give it to you. This is the data. Boom. You know, their approach is just so much different. And I'm doing this to highlight company cultures, and it shows in their job descriptions. You know, if you look at a DDD, if you're looking at a deal, a deal guy over at PwC, you look at a deal person over at BCG or even Deloitte or something like that, you're going to see very different job descriptions. The way that the words are going to be totally different. All right. So with that being said, talk to people. Complete your job descriptions. Talk to them at their level. Make it effective, and follow the format that I gave you as far as job title, major, minor, compensation, who wrote it, and be mindful. Stay away from all the sexist stuff. Stay away from all the possible discrimination things. And unfortunately, I wish I could give you more details about the discrimination things, but each state is going to be ran completely different because the tolerance level on things is different. With that being said, thank you for your time. See you on the other side. Peace.